Hello everyone. Let's continue with the shell scripts. So today we are going to learn how to use conditional constructs like if else, if, and how to use the different operators within the shell script. So the very first thing we are going to learn today is the use of if else. Now at times you want to evaluate a condition, and depending upon the output, whether the answer is true or false, you want to do a separate thing. So for conditional constructs, we use if else. So here I am showing you the syntax that we use. So we write if, give space, use the square brackets. Note that within the square bracket also there is space. So you write the opening bracket, give space, and then write the condition, whatever condition you want to evaluate. Again, after writing the condition, there's a space and then you close the bracket. So giving these spaces is very important. If you don't give it, it's going to give an error. So if condition, then you write what are the statements that you want to execute if the condition is true. So if the condition is true, then all the statements following then will be executed. After that you use else. So else is for all those statements which you want to execute if the condition is false. And finally you close this if else by using fi. So how to remember? Opposite of if. So remember there will be three parts. The first part is condition. If the condition is true, then all the statements should follow then. For the false part, all the statements should follow else, and then you close the if else using fi. So let me give you an example. So let us suppose that the question is check if the number entered by the user is greater than 10. So let's write the script if1 dot sh. So now what I want is I want the user to enter the number. So enter a number. Let's save this into the variable num. Now if space bracket space. Now I want number to be greater than 10. So $num, is it greater than 10? So greater than 10, right? But don't use this. You can't use this symbol. For greater than it is -gt, greater than minus gt. I'll show you the list of all these comparison operators, space and close. So this is how I will write if and then the condition. So then if the condition is true, then you do what? Simply let's write one statement, echo the number is greater than 10. Else if it is false, then you write the number is smaller than or equal to 10, because if it is not greater than, this means it can be 10 also or smaller than 10 also. Close it fi. Save, change the permission, if1.sh, run it. Now enter number. Let's suppose I enter 15. The number is greater than 10. Rerun this. 5. The number is smaller than or equal to 10. So always check on both the conditions so that you are sure that it is working for both kind of values, true as well as false. Now let us see what are the various operators that we can use for arithmetic comparison. For equal to, you should use -eq, minus eq, not the equal to sign. For not equal to, you will write ne. For greater than, you will use gt. For greater than equal to, ge. Similarly, for less than, lt, and for less than equal to, le. So I have already shown you one example. Let me give you one more example. I will modify the same script. So you open the same script and let us use one more operator here. So this time I'm going to use greater than equal to, ge. So if it is either 10 or greater than 10. So the number is greater than 10, else the number is smaller than 10. So let's do this simple modification. So GE will be greater than or equal to. So if I rerun it, so this time if I either enter a number greater than 10 or even if I enter 10, both ways it will show the number is greater than 10. But for smaller number, it is going to show that the number is smaller than 10. Next is string comparison. So if you want to compare strings, so if you want to check whether the strings are equal, then you should use the equal to sign, but with space. Because if you don't use, then it becomes assignment, the one which we did in the variables. For comparison, you should give space on either side of the equal to. Then if you want to check whether the strings are not equal, then use the exclamation mark and equal to sign. If you want to check whether the string is a null string, then you will use -n and then give the string. If it is not null, then you will use -n, but if it is null, you want to check whether the string is null, then you can use -z and then the string. Similarly, for file conditions, means you want to check certain conditions on the file. For example, if you want to check whether the name that is given is of a directory or not, then you will use -t and then the name. If it will be a directory, it will return true, otherwise it will return false. Similarly, if you want to check whether it is of a file, then you use -f, -e if the file exists, f if the file is a regular file, -r if the file is readable, means there is read permission on the file, w to check if there is write permission on the file, s if the file size is non-zero, x if the file is having execute permissions. Okay, so I'll show you a sample program. So let us suppose we write a script to check if the file exists or not. If not, then create it. So do remember, if I want to check whether the file exists or not, then I should use f, -f. So let's write the second script. So what I want is, I want to check whether the file exists or not. Now this time I'm not going to take the input from the user, but I'm going to take it from the user, but as command line argument. So what I will check, if -f $1. So I'm sure that the user is going to enter the file name as the first argument. So -f, check whether it is filed or not. If yes, then print $1 is an existing file. Else, so as per this statement, if it does not exist, then you have to create it. So if it is false, then you do what? Touch $1. Then I will say a new file with name $1 is created. If I save it, change the permissions, if2.sh, now if2.sh, give the name here. Okay, so let's do both ways. So this is the entire list of the existing files. First, let us check for an existing file. So quotes is the one. So you can see here quotes is an existing file. But now if I write here test, so you can say a new file with name test is created. If I check ls, so you can see now the entry is there. Earlier the entry for test was not there. Similarly, you can evaluate all other conditions. So let's do one more program for string comparison. If3.sh. So we have done for arithmetic comparison, we have checked file condition, and now let us try one for the string comparison also. So let us take a variable. Okay, so let's ask the user to enter the name of month. Read in the variable mon. Check if $mon is equal to space is very important. So what I want, whatever the user has entered, is it December? Then give a message, correct entry, let's suppose, and on false, on else, you can say a wrong entry, fi. Change the permissions, if3.sh, run it, if3.sh. Okay, enter the month. So let's suppose first I enter a wrong one, wrong entry. This time correct entry. So this is for string comparison. Now another thing is if else. If you want to evaluate multiple conditions, one inside the other. For example, we created a program where we checked whether the entry is of an existing file or not. Now it may not be of a file, but it might be of a directory which we have not checked. So first I want to check whether it is a file. If yes, fine. Otherwise, I want to check whether it is of a directory. In that case, I have to use if else or else if. Sorry. Means if the first condition is false, you want to check the another condition. For that, the syntax you can see it's almost similar. But instead of writing else, you will write elif and specify the next condition. So this is not just for checking two conditions. You can carry this forward for 3, 4, 5 n number of conditions. So let's modify the same program and we will check whether the entry is of a file or of a directory. So let's write a fresh program for that, or fresh script. So what we did, if $1 minus if $1, so this will check whether it's a file, then echo it is a file. Elif, now you check the second condition. What is second condition? If it is not a file, it will be a directory. It can be a directory. Then echo it is a directory. Else, so if it is neither a file nor a directory, this means what? The entry does not exist. Or you can say neither a file nor a directory, whichever way you want to put it. Save this. Give the permissions. And now if for.sh. So let's list once again. So I have not created any directory. So let me make an entry for the directory also. So dir. Alright, so this is the entire list now. So let us run the program. So first I am going to pass a file name. So I know that env.sh is a file. We have just created it. So as you can see, it is a file. Second time, if I pass dir, it's a directory. Now let's suppose I simply write d. So the entry does not exist. Alright, so you can use elif to check a condition within another condition. Finally, you can also use logical comparisons. Means you want to evaluate multiple conditions at once. With else if, we have evaluated one condition first. If it is false, then second condition. If it false, then third condition, and so on. But you might want to evaluate multiple conditions at the same time. Then you can use either or and. So or is even if one of the conditions is true, you want to perform certain task. And is you will perform the task only if both the conditions are true. So for or you can use the double pipe symbol. For and you can use the double ampersand sign. So let us write another program. if5.sh. So let's suppose I want to evaluate two conditions, that the age of the user should be greater than 20 and less than 30. If both these conditions are true, then he is eligible for, let's suppose, placements, otherwise not. So in that case, what I can do is, let's enter the age. So we'll save the age as the first argument. So if $1, what I want is greater than 20 and at the same time it should be less than 30. So in that case, eligible, else not. So change the permissions, change mod u plus x if5.sh, if5.sh. let's suppose the age is 25, missing operand. Okay, so there's one error. Alright, so double correct, run this, still there is one mistake. Okay, so what I need to do is, and like this. So if first condition and then the second condition, so this should evaluate, right? So if the age is 25, the user is eligible because both the conditions are true. The age is greater than 20 and less than 30. But let's suppose I write here 15, not eligible. Even if I write 35, then also not eligible, because both the conditions should be true. Now let us suppose you want either one of them to be true, either greater than 20 or I should not say less than 30. So let's change here that either the age is greater than 20 or the name of the user, so as the second argument I will pass the name. So let's suppose the name should be Tom. So if any one of these conditions is true, then he is eligible, otherwise not. Any one is true, he is eligible. So greater than 20 or the name is Tom. So again run it. Now I need to pass two parameters. So first, age is greater than 20, fine. Let's suppose that the name is not Tom. So I will pass some other name, Jill. Sorry, what is wrong? Can you check? Yes, what we have done is we have not changed the symbol here. Still evaluating, and this is the OR symbol. Okay. So once again, now is eligible because I am checking only one condition. Now let's change it. Let's give the name as Tom. T should be capital, and age is 15. So still one condition is true, he is still eligible. If both the conditions are true, then also he will be eligible. But if both are not true, then only he will not be eligible. Okay, so use OR whenever you want that only one of the conditions is true, you are going to perform a certain activity. Use AND when you want to check whether all the conditions are true.
So that was all about how to use the if-else conditional construct. In the next video, we are going to talk about loops.